Iranian leadership is sending a strong message to protesters as violence and destruction rage on throughout the country's cities and villages. Iran's revolutionary court in Tehran handed down an execution sentence to an anti-government protester. It's possible this will not be the last death sentence either. Our Nick Smith is standing by with this disturbing development. Good morning, Nick.
Mitch, good morning. An anti-government protester was sentenced to death in Iran amid continued unrest in the country. The protester not named was among those arrested during mass demonstrations, charged with setting fire to a government building. The country's revolutionary court was established in 1979 following the Islamic revolutions and known for issuing harsh punishments to those who oppose Iran's rulers. 5 more unnamed protesters were given prison sentences between 5 and 10 years. The widespread unrest was sparked by the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who was in police custody for allegedly violating the country's strict dress code. The human rights activist news agency based outside of Iran claims the country's death toll sits at 341. The group also claims another 15,800 protesters have been arrested. Their fate remains unknown at this hour. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. And Ari Honarvar is here. She's a journalist, speaker, and author who has lived in Iran as a child and grew up there and escaped with her family. She's also the Iranian musical ambassador. Thank you so much, Ari, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you still have family and friends there. Obviously, it's a very tense situation. Can you tell us what you've been hearing them tell you about what it's like there on the ground?
Yeah, what we have to recognize is the rationale under which a theocratic regime operates. Whatever you do that they deem is against the government, whenever you question the government, you're also questioning God. You're also going against God. And if you buy into this dangerous myth, then severe punishments or even a death penalty becomes the obvious consequence for anyone who defies the government and therefore God.
And one person has been sentenced to death. The country's parliament voted in favor of the death penalty for protesters. So will they really?
Overwhelmingly, yes.
Overwhelmingly. So do you believe they'll really go through with this, or is this a scare tactic to make sure that people get off the street?
Well, it's really hard to predict the reaction of authoritarians who have all the power in the world, and in equal measures, they're deathly scared of unarmed civilians and peaceful protesters. They're scared of schoolgirls who refuse to wear a scarf on their heads. But what we hope is that the pressure from the international community and all sorts of different campaigns work to put pressure on them, to shine a light on atrocities. Because of internet blackouts inside of Iran, it's crucial to get the word out, to retweet. The lowest levels of activism actually can save lives right now. One person that we're focusing on is Hossein Ronaqi, an Iranian blogger and human rights activist and political dissident who has been in notorious Evin prison, and he's got health issues. His kidneys are failing. He's on hunger strike, and we're demanding for his release. The other one is journalist Niloufar Hamedi, who actually broke Mahsa Amini's story. But this toothpaste is not going back into the tube, as someone said. People are furious. Their rage is engulfed their fear, and their acts of civil disobedience and this fire that the regime can't contain has spread to all sorts of demographics.
Well, it's a house divided right now, and a house divided can't stand. You mentioned at the beginning of this that in their perspective, when you're defying the government, you're defying God. So that would be something that would not go away quickly, not culturally, societally, or based on their faith. So what is it going to take to bring peace to the region? What needs to happen?
So it's not a cultural thing. Iran it has a large, healthy, secular population who are not culturally buying into this theocracy, to the Islamist way of being. I think what they're doing is something that can actually work if they keep it up, if they keep acts of civil disobedience, strikes and protests, and they get support from the international community in terms of just raising voices and amplifying voices.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.